Why hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Gaming News Show. I apologize that I could not make last week's episode as I was very sick with a sore throat and I still technically have a cough this week too, but you will not be seeing that as I will be obviously editing that out. But to get started with this episode, I just wanted to quickly mention the games that came out last week, which there was a whole lot of games. First up, we have Warriors Ocarina 4 that came out for the PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. Then there was Starlink Battle for Atlas, which came out for PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. Then Lego DC Supervillains for the PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. And then NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which came out for PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. And then a For Honor DLC called Marching Fire Expansion came out for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And then the next installment on Jackbox Party Pack series, the Jackbox Party Pack 5, came out on PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. Siberia for the Switch port did come out this week, as well as Moto Racer 4 came out on the Switch, and Soul Calibur 6 came out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And then the Switch port for Dark Souls Remastered did come out. And then last but not least, Sinner's Sacrifice for Redemption came out for the Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and PC. If you guys didn't know that those games came out, be sure to pick them up if you're interested in them. And then the games that came out this week are Marvel's Spider-Man The Heist DLC, that is for $10. That is obviously exclusive to the PS4. And this DLC has Felicia Hardy, aka the Black Cat, comes back to town and leaves mysterious clues around Marvel's New York to toy with Spider-Man. So be sure to check out that DLC if you are interested. And if you already have the season pass from pre-ordering and all that stuff, then you should already have playing it and enjoying it. The next exciting game that came out this week is Red Dead Redemption 2 for $60 on the PS4 and Xbox One. We have no idea yet if Rockstar will be releasing for the PC, especially since Red Dead Redemption 1 never came to the PC, but due to the sales numbers of GTA 5 that came out on the PC, we're pretty sure they wouldn't just leave the PC people behind, but I wouldn't hate it really so much if they waited another year like they did for the GTA 5 where they took 2 years to release it for the PC. Basically, if you don't know what Red Dead Redemption 2 is, it is the prequel to Red Dead Redemption, where after a robbery goes badly wrong in the western town of Blackwater, the main character you're playing, Arthur Morgan, and the Van der Linde gang are forced to flee, with federal agents and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing on their heels. The gang must rob, steal, and fight their way across the rugged heartland of America in order to survive, as deepening internal divisions threaten to tear the gang apart. Arthur must make a choice between his ideals and loyalty to the gang who raised him. I definitely look forward to buying this game. I'll probably definitely check the game out on Black Friday. Hopefully it'll probably be in the $45 price range because I'm a cheap bastard after all. I plan to actually stream this game, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to stream Red Dead Redemption 1 because Red Dead Redemption 1 is literally just the future. That's all it is. So be sure to check that game out if you haven't already. And then for the next game, it is My Heroes 1 Justice. That is for $60. That came out for the PS4, PC, Xbox One, and Switch, where you fight for your justice in My Heroes 1's Justice. The popular manga and anime series clashes head-to-head and quirk-to-quirk in this 3D arena fighter. Pave your path and choose between hero or villain and battle through iconic moments, which I'm guessing it's just another Dragon Ball Z fighter type of game, because I have never heard of the My Heroes 1 Justice at all, so I'm assuming that the playstyle is similar to Dragon Ball Z, but at the same time it could always not be, so be sure to check that out if you are interested. The last game that came out is Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales for $30. That is available on PC currently, but it will be available on the PS4 and Xbox One in December because my guess is the UI and the controls were first designed for the PC interface compared to, I'm sure they're going to have to make a whole new UI or at least make the controls adjacent to what it would feel like on controller. Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales is created from the creators of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which comes as a brand new tale set in the brutal and twisted universe of Witcher Geralt of Rivia. The world stands on the verge of chaos as the tensions between power-hungry Nilfgaardian Empire and proud northern realms grow. Facing an imminent invasion, you are forced to once again to enter the warpath and set out on a dark journey of destruction and revenge. I specifically have never actually played them yet. I only bought them cheap on Steam. But I definitely recommend checking this game out because I saw the images and they basically made this as like they probably put more money into this than when they made the card game that is basically literally just a card game, but this one you actually do play card game, but at the same time it's also like a 2D scroller in a way, but you just same strategies and whatnot, so I hope you all have fun if you're interested in this. For all these topics I speak today, they're in the description as always down below. The very first topic today is going to be talking about the fact that Nintendo Labo is being brought to schools, which is very nice because it seems that Nintendo has teamed up with nonprofit Institute of Play to bring Labo to 100 elementary schools around the country of the United States. The aim, of course, is to encourage children at a young age to get more invested in math, science, and technology. They hope to reach around 2,000 students between ages 8 to 11 during this current school year. I totally do agree with Nintendo's marketing strategy for this product as they only agreed to the proposal that the educators did ask them to support. But what I don't understand is why they can't just bring the product to more than just 100 elementary schools, especially when they have the money and resources that won't even affect the profit margin when they are having the school systems use the product to begin with. You also got to wonder how many kids will end up breaking these actual Labos due to them just being cardboard, and I wonder if the Labo itself would be created differently had it been made from a thin plastic that is hard to break compared to cardboard or something like that, because then it's like you wouldn't have to worry so much about resources, but it would slightly cost more. It would make more sense with the $60, $70 price tag that Labos are just because of the game rather than the cardboard itself. But overall, good job Nintendo for being friendly with helping out the future generations. The next topic I discovered is something major, that's why I only felt like doing 2 topics this week, and it is Intellivision reveals details for their upcoming Amico Retro Console. And it's basically a new starter company decided to get the old IP of Intellivision and did upload a trailer on YouTube revealing console they plan to release in 2 years called the Intellivision Amico, which the very first thing I did purposely research before, like, technically I watched the trailer, but I purposely wanted to find out where, like, all this information was and whatnot, and it's literally on the Intellivision website, which is obviously linked below in the description. But the very first thing that they say is that it's priced between $150 to $180, which is more than likely because of storage itself, and it will be available in North America, UK, and the Europe on October 10th, 2020, which, man, if they got the date down, they really are trying to get it hard down, really hard. But the console is supposedly going to only be targeted for family-friendly experiences, with games ranging only between E or E10 plus, because that way they can have just the family experience where I'm guessing they're trying to target like how it was back then before the internet was a thing. But the thing is, what the heck, that's kind of restricting on what developers can make for the console. But every game version is exclusive to this console, so like I said, even more restricting. But it's also great at the same time because then it's like there's no other way you can play these games unless you buy the console. All games are downloadable only between $3 and $8, which is nice. And there are no DLC/microtransactions for any game, which is also great. Consoles will include several pre-installed Intellivision classic games, unless it says in the trailer I missed it, as like we have no idea what the pre-installed games will be. They state there will be 2 controllers that come with the console, and you can connect up to 8 controllers to the console. You can even connect a smartphone app of the controller to the console. That way, if you don't have the physical controller, you can play. Supposedly, somehow, there won't be any we will have to see on the latency issues involved with a smartphone app compared to a hardware interface. So there's various features part of the controller like the force feedback, microphone, speaker, gyroscope, and accelerometer, which most of these things pretty much make sense. I don't know why the hell they really need to include a microphone. Like, I don't know. They could, why not just include a 3.5mm jack is beyond me. It will be having a 3.5-inch 2x3 color touchscreen, which of course we don't know the actual type of touchscreen, if it's going to be, whether it's going to be LED, any other kind of quality, I don't know. But it'll be wireless charging by just putting the controller onto the console, and you'll be using the D-pad will be a tilting disc that's backlit for controlling the games. That'll be interesting to see how they have that go about it, because if it doesn't have a good D-pad, then what's the use for the controller other than touchpad? But of course, there's also the side buttons because they're trying to copy how the Intellivision's old retro console was. But in terms of the hardware for the console, there are no actual specific specs told, but the console will be using Wi-Fi and Ethernet connectivity, of course, to access the online aspects, including the store, online multiplayer, trophies, and whatnot. But there are multiple USB ports, probably for storage and third-party peripherals if they are made, as well as a basic HDMI output and a system expansion slot, I'm guessing for future expansions of whatever. But they literally don't say anything about how the actual CPU and graphics processing will be for the 2D games, because we know it's just going to be a bunch of retro games anyway. But it'll be cool if you can actually run the games full screen on a 4K display without any splitting of the pixels or anything like that. But the online aspect for the console, you'll be accessing a store to buy games as well as play online games and compete in tournaments, and checking out leaderboards and achievement system for each game. They already are all good. That you should take notes, Nintendo. They already are saying they're going to have all this stuff, and yet you're having such an issue dealing with simple online when you've been doing this for how long, while the starter company already says that they already got stuff going. But the games that they plan on doing, there's a whole list that you can check out in the description on their website down below. But some of them are Miner 2049er, Baseball, Tempest, Dracula, and many more. So, like I said, you guys can check that out. But now that we have all these details, just like you, I am curious about what the console physically will look like, more than just the concept animations done in the trailer, because after all, like, we see the concept, but will the actual physical product look as thick as that thing does? Because it literally does look like it was something from the 80s or 90s, but will that design change or not. Like, it could easily have the same features. It probably will end up looking slimmer than it does, definitely, depending on how well their whole expansion slot and like how big they need the wireless charging pads and whatnot, and as well as whatever. I'm sure their retro games and whatnot won't need that big of a processing unit or anything, so I'm sure most of it's just for the space of the controllers and whatnot so they can be placed down correctly, as well as the lights and everything to make it all look great. I really hope that the LEDs that are on the console aren't going to be too flashy or anything like that. Anyways, that is the last story for the episode. Now it is on to the memes, which the first one is from Reddit user NoMan223, which is, man, I love this game, and they have their dual monitors set up, and they have to Spider-Man just, hey, type of thing, like, hey, I see it, you're looking good. Next one is user JACCOHH, which the caption is, And I just saw this one because I've seen it before on Facebook and whatnot, and it's literally describe a process that could be used to create a simple door, and they just use the Minecraft recipe for a door, and they're like, what are you talking about? Which you can tell that the picture itself is outdated, definitely, because by now, I don't know, you may or may not know about recipes or anything. Like, you may know about it, but you don't know, like, you've never done it before. I don't know, but yeah, I just figured I saw that. I'm like, yeah, why not include it in the episode and whatnot? So I thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that Nintendo actually does more with their Labo stuff, because if they do, then it's like, hey, people didn't just waste their goddamn $80 or more because of each one. Because I know they're coming out with more expansion, more different Labos and whatnot, but like, they're technically targeted towards kids, and yet most of their profit has been for people that have just been recording them for YouTube. Just be like, hey, I recommend this for your kid, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, it's kind of targeted towards kids, so there's a reason why they just bought it for the hell of it, just to make the money off of it. But I just hope that there's more, that Labo actually turns more into something that'll be done for the future rather than just, hey, we want your money. So we don't know what the heck creations of technology could be created from prototypes that were made from Labo, or just ideas that were made from Labo and whatnot. Who knows? But also, what do you think of the Intellivision Amico console? Will you be picking it up? But I thank you all for watching very much. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed. Be sure to comment down below any stories that you have stumbled upon, and tell me about them and whatnot, and I may include them in a future episode. But be sure to also follow me on Twitter to get notified when I upload as well as when I stream. Follow me on Twitch and whatnot so that you know when I stream over there if you don't feel like watching me stream on here. And also subscribe to me to know when I go live and upload a video. And as well as hit that bell icon to know when the heck I do all this stuff, if you want to get notified to the actual less than 5 minutes of me doing it, because I don't know how soon YouTube does their notifications, so, or else it could be broken. That's why I was also check out Twitter, and it will be posted and whatnot. So be sure to do all that, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye now.